Let's talk about the Beatles. I've been asked by Disney to talk about the Beatles Anthology in celebration of the remastered documentary series featuring an all-new 9th episode now streaming on Disney+. It was one of the first examples of an artist taking their story into their own hands. The Beatles by the Beatles, through past and current interviews, archival footage, and unseen photographs. This is the story of the Beatles Anthology. It was 1970, around the time the Beatles were breaking up. That small discussion started to happen around the idea of creating a career-spanning documentary of the band. They started filming everything, resulting in the stunning footage that was shot during the Let It Be era. But once the band dissolved, the plan was abandoned. For those who were fans of the Beatles at the time, it was devastating. They'd hung on to hope for a reunion, but as time went on, it seemed less and less likely. Lucky for us, Neil Aspinall, CEO of Apple Corps, decided to store and preserve all available footage of the band, biding his time while everybody cooled off from one of the most fiery breakups in music history. In the meantime, he quietly organized and archived. Then in 1980, any possible chance for a reunion was destroyed when John Lennon was tragically taken from this world. The older generation who grew up with them were heartbroken, and those who were children in the 70s and 80s witnessed how meaningful this band had been through the world's monumentous collective grief. Later in the 1990s, after a lot of healing, Paul, George, and Ringo started discussing the idea of creating a documentary about the Beatles from their own perspective. Yoko Ono got involved with the project, provided the band with some of John's unfinished demos, from which they were able to create Real Love and Free as a Bird. The Beatles Anthology was released in November 1995. And it was a beautiful moment for the older generation who had waited so long for closure to this story that had defined so much of their lives. Many of that age group were parents themselves at this point, raising young millennials who would become the new generation of Beatlemaniacs. For us, it was different. We didn't experience it personally, but we could feel the love for that music radiating from those who came before us. For me, it was my dad sitting in the backyard playing Love Me Do on guitar. For others, it was flipping through their parents' music collections, hearing it all for the first time. And it didn't take long before we were hooked too. The Beatles Anthology told the whole story in an 8-part series, featuring exclusive interviews, unseen footage, and narration from the Beatles themselves. It was a global event, watched by hundreds of millions of people worldwide. Just an incredible moment of united humanity over a band, over music. And now that series is back, fully remastered on Disney+, in all its 8-part glory with a final new 9th episode. An opportunity for millions of Beatles fans worldwide to further pass down this tradition. This music that has come to define what unites us on a global scale.